Charlie was first documented when someone snapped a photo of his initial escape from a meat processing plant. Now, you're probably wondering, what even is a Big Charlie? This creature's DNA analysis revealed that it is a man-made genetic hybrid of both chicken and cow, the ultimate meat product abomination. No longer will my McGangbang have to come from two different animals. Its body resembles that of an emaciated cow with its ribcage tightly encased by leathery skin. This creature can reach up to 30 feet or 9 meters tall. Its legs are structured like those of a chicken, and its head has a cow skull shape with a beak-like protrusion for a mouth. Big Chunkus's eyes are cloudy and milky white, like those of your friend's really old dog that he insists can still actually stand up, but you're not so sure. These hybrids are still in production around the United States, and their meat as well as other products like milk and eggs are being sold to consumers in America and overseas as well. You can't tell me you didn't already have a suspicion that something was up about your food. Take a bite of a McDonald's hamburger and tell me it tastes anything like a hamburger you make at home. Yeah, I still bought this, f*** you. Oat milk? Yeah, okay. Show me the nipple on an oat. You f***ers have been consuming Big Charlies this whole time. I'm telling you though, the meat is delicious when you actually prepare it right instead of just mixing it with dog food ingredients like your fast food places. Despite its totally radical entire body mohawk, this entity has never displayed aggressive tendencies towards humans. While he might seem frightening due to his appearance, think about how smart a cow is, and then think about how smart a chicken is. This guy is somewhere in between there. This thing's primary concern is eating things off the ground. I bet you feel about as dumb as him for being scared now, don't you? It's not really all that threatening of a creature compared to the rest of the crap that I drag y'all to. Although, cows do consistently kill humans on a scale that outweighs pretty much any other animal. This creature has one more unexplainable ability, that of fleshy asexual reproduction. This creature drops flesh blobs that will develop into one of multiple forms. If you were Big Charlie, your left boob would fall off and grow legs and become its own sentient creature while you rapidly grew the left boob back. The first of these three forms is a perfect clone of Big Charlie, the second of which is called Lil Nugget. I'm not talking about that vertically challenged Atlanta rapper that fell into a deep fryer. I'm talking about a small amorphously shaped creature with 4 nubbins it uses to walk around on and 2 comically large oval eyes. Lil Nuggets act like cockroaches or rats and survive inside human settlements by stealing their food and resources and nesting in their walls. I'd nest in your walls. Aside from the destruction to environments that regular pests create, these are basically harmless, and they can even be domesticated if you feed and take care of them. The lamb is a different story. The lamb is a monstrosity that looks to be made from veins and other vascular structures. Okay, so you know those bodybuilders that have skin so tight that all of their skin looks like veiny dick skin? It's like that big pile of veins, but without the skin. It levitates in the air using some form of telekinesis, but this is just the tip of the iceberg of what it is capable of. It can cause psychic damage to the brains of any creature in its vicinity. This includes psychological/emotional damage, but it can also just literally burst your gray matter, make your head go. It's also capable of causing all the blood in a creature to instantly clot, causing the veins in its body to explode under the pressure of gelatinous blood, causing the skin to become reddish in hue. This creature, like any other cool, unknowable horror, is worshipped by a cult of followers. There's also triple question mark Nugget, but when people pressed lead paranormal researcher Trevor Henderson for information regarding this new discovery, he kept saying, "We don't talk about him." I know what that means. It's either that he's buried in Trevor Henderson's backyard, or he traumatized Trevor to a point he can never recover and his brain made up a bunch of random monsters as a defense mechanism. Siren Head. Bullhorn Slenderman. Speaker Face. A monstrosity known by many names, Siren Head is a tall skeletal humanoid creature with a long pole and multiple sirens in place of a head and neck. No shit. These sirens have a set of gums and teeth on the inside of them. Its skin is tightly wrapped around its bones like a kid in a trash bag with a vacuum. Siren Head has dry, papery skin like the leaf of a backwoods. Speaking of, am I the only one that thinks that loose shredded tobacco looks like a bunch of collected pubic hairs? Just me? Okay. It's thought that like a stick bug, the Siren Head has evolved to look exactly like telephone wire poles in order to blend into the environment. Siren Heads are apex predators in both forests and any environment with plentiful human infrastructure, consuming every creature they come across, like that fisherman guy that catches random ocean fish and then eats them raw to test if they're poisonous, even if they've already been established as poisonous. That's real, and it's called this. You're welcome. There's this myth going around that Siren Head doesn't eat. It's actually that he doesn't need to eat. He eats humans and animals just because he's a sick fuck and thinks it's pretty funny. Siren Head has no eyes, and while some claim that he can still see, like the common bat or Stevie Wonder, this creature moves and locates prey using echolocation, sending out indetectable pulses of sound constantly and receiving accurate feedback as to where your dumbass is hiding. The two sirens on its head will often speak in unison and throw out seemingly random words and numbers in a static-filled, echoey electronic hum. This creature is also capable of replicating any noise that it hears, including human speech, animal calls, and of course, sirens, digital, and other mechanical noises.
Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass pure.
Siren Head seems to be more intelligent than your average human. You gotta be smart to get a human out of their house if you look like the result of someone tripping balls on mushrooms on Halloween night and seeing an especially creepy telephone pole. The noises that he uses to lure victims will change from person to person. Similar to a skinwalker, Siren Head often uses the voices or screams for help of a loved one or any other voice that it thinks could manipulate a victim into leaving safety. It will also specialize the noises by stalking a victim for a series of weeks to understand its behavior. Many paranormal researchers theorize that the Siren Head belongs to a larger collection of similar humanoid creatures. There have been documentations of lamppost heads, telephone pole heads, and 5G cell station heads, just to name a few. That's right, that crazy swamp lady that burnt down the 5G tower was actually defending you from Siren Heads, and you all just went and put her in jail. Now look at all the places that he has to hide. Siren Head's rise to fame mirrors another internet horror celebrity, Slenderman. Often being called the new Slenderman, this has made the actual Slenderman quite bitter. He was already behaving erratically, as he had slid into alcoholism as so many former child stars do. In a blind drunken rage, Slenderman attempted to run down Siren Head in his car, which was documented by a bunch of 10-year-olds writing Slenderman vs. Siren Head fanfics.
Open the door or I'm gonna throw rocks through your windows, you dumb whore.
Hey Satana, add polycephalic human skeletons to my shopping list.
I've added polycephalic human skeleton to your shopping list.
The Feated King is a cognitohazard image that manifests an aggressive skeletal entity of the same name. This entity has a few strands of hair that it desperately combs over in a sad attempt to claim that it's under 30,000 years old. He also wears a crown that seemingly rises out of the bone on top of the skull itself. This image was originally a painting. When someone would view this art, the Feated King entity would emerge from the canvas, grabbing the victim and dragging them into a pocket-sized dimension within the artwork. In this fun-sized hell, the victim will be submerged into a sea of maggots until there is nothing left but bone. If there is any flesh left, it looks like the skin on the knee of that kid that won't let his injuries heal because he keeps picking the scabs off to eat them. Some researchers believe that the Feated King just wants more skeleton friends. While he sounds fearsome, you can just avoid him by staying out of arm's reach or not looking at him at all. When someone, whether it was a deranged lunatic looking to end humanity or an idiot that just didn't get close enough to die and posted it on Instagram, took a photo and uploaded it to the internet, the properties followed. This turned what was a vaguely threatening piece of canvas that you could incapacitate by facing towards the wall into an omnipotent being capable of tracing down and destroying any human with any semblance of connection to the modern world. It started to spread itself in numerous newly created social media accounts and even edit the files and settings on devices to turn the image into the home screen, signifying that this entity was conscious and wanted to kill as many people as possible. I actually have the original image saved on my hard drive, as it's a lot easier to send an email than it is to put a hit out on someone. Just remember, if you f*** with me, I'll kill you with only a meme. The image I am using to depict this entity in the video has been modified for your safety. I'd show the real one to you, but then who would watch my videos? See, it's a lot less easy to keep this spooky skeleton man at arm's reach when he can occupy a device that's designed for use in your hands. The one hilarious thing about the Feated King is that it manifests with size in respect to the device that it comes from. So if it does happen to come from your phone, it's gonna be a teeny tiny little guy trying to murder you. Adorable. However, the Feated King is always incredibly strong regardless of its size, and is able to pull a full-grown man through a computer monitor via brute force, even if limbs need to be severed in the process. If some psycho rents an electronic billboard in Town Hall, things are gonna get real messy real fast, and I will be watching one giant arm's distance away with popcorn and beer. Bridgeworms are mysterious ambush predators located across the majority of the North American continent. These worms are often discovered by unlucky urban explorers that stick their nose inside the wrong place at the wrong time, like that one incident with the butthole. These creatures have a long worm-like body covered in a layer of sickly-looking gray skin with a waxy shine to it. They have two large arms protruding from each side, which they use for dragging themselves along using walls of tunnels like a lubed-up man crawling quickly across a slip-and-slide. They also use these arms to secure prey and bring it inside their face holes for consumption. The bridgeworm usually resides in bridges, tunnels, sewers, subways, abandoned buildings, and rarely in natural caves. Like you and I, this creature very much enjoys slippery holes. This creature preys upon the majority of large North American fauna, but has a tendency to reside in man-made areas and target humans. It's theorized that this predator not only targets humans, but has evolved over millions of years to favor humans as prey. It's thought that this creature needs the large mass of gray matter that is most present in human brains. Evidence for this evolutionary relationship can be seen in its false face adaptation. Kinda like dealing with someone on the street handing out their quote-unquote free mixtape, or a girl who's only on Tinder to promote her OnlyFans. You shouldn't be fooled by this false face. Its gray skin opens up just under the chin of the creature, creating a retractable flap. This flap has a fake, vaguely humanoid face on it. When ambushing its prey, it retracts this flap to reveal its true face, which is a blood-red skeletal face eerily similar in bone structure to a human skull. While it was theorized that this was designed to fool humans as a manipulation of their hard-coded facial recognition patterns in their brains, this theory falls apart when you realize that most humans are smart enough to know it's not a person if it's a giant worm with an uncanny valley face. Keyword: most. Instead, I theorize that it is not designed to trick humans, but instead to pique their curiosity, taking advantage of the human's natural proclivity to seek knowledge even if it puts them in danger. What's that saying? Curiosity killed the cat? And also that transient, that taxi driver, that paranormal investigator. As they age, their faces get more and more human-like, and some of them attach themselves inside of their habitat like some sort of horrible roadway snail. Another adaptation that suggests the bridgeworm specializes in human hunting is that it oozes a thick slime. This not only lubricates its body to slide through tunnels, but it also serves to make the road incredibly slippery, causing many more accidents. Numerous corporations have captured and farmed these worms to milk them of their lubricant and sell them as intercourse aids worldwide. When the slime freezes in the winter, this accident rate skyrockets. After causing a car crash, this creature will rip the doors from the vehicle and pull the prey out of the car and devour it like my rabbi did with my foreskin after I was circumcised. The largest recorded bridgeworm on record was over 1,500 feet, and was the culprit responsible for some of the numerous New York railway transit disappearances from 1994 to 1998. Bridgeworms usually keep to isolated areas to avoid detection by human masses. Nothing on your planet is more dangerous than a big group of humans under groupthink. Although, when food is scarce, the worms will sometimes relocate in search of more, sometimes across vast distances. There have been a few rare instances of bridgeworms entering cities and large towns. For example, the most infamous incident in 1998 in which a bridgeworm followed the train tracks from rural New York directly into Grand Central, consuming railway workers, drunken humans, and homeless street performers in the subway, only to be cut in half by an express train from Connecticut before it could reach the high-population transit center. I actually witnessed this, but in the moment, after the night I had, I wasn't sure if I actually saw a train cut a giant worm with human arms in half, or I was just a bit too gone and needed some sleep. What is strange is that there are no evolutionary trees which the bridgeworm would fit into, as it has no known species relatives. How the bridgeworm came into existence is a complete mystery. Some say it's related to snakes or worms, some say it was created in a laboratory, some, as humans always do, say it's got something to do with the occult or the paranormal. Examining its genetic lineage is like going on TikTok. Rarely have I opened TikTok and I was like, yeah, that was a valuable use of my time. Most of the time I just open it to post and spend like 15 minutes and I'm staring at memes and thirst traps and I'm like, shit, I've been tricked. What the hell am I talking about again? I would advise against searching for the bridgeworm due to the fact that you're their primary source of food that millions of years of evolution have bred them to be the perfect ambush predator for, you idiot. I decided to message my associate and take this investigation into my own hands. The following is the message log leading up to the expedition. Yo, where's the abandoned house? In the woods. I need some footage. We need to find the bridgeworm, motherfucker. This guy. Where? Oh, you're asking me? I'm down to do that tonight. Blair Witch Project. Yeah, I'm asking you, lol. We need to find the bridgeworms.
Redacted.
If we believe hard enough and get high enough, it will be real. Hey man, you don't gotta tell me twice. Lift today. I'm glad you understand the importance of this matter. Also down. Lift today, dinner, vodka, wander into the woods. The sea eater is an eyeless, ocean-dwelling creature of unknown length. While the sea eater is far too large to fit into any body of water other than the deep ocean, this still doesn't mean that you should feel safe on the toilet. On each side, there are massive limbs that resemble arms, except with webbed extremities. This creature navigates on sonar alone, and it's thought that it's responsible for the famous yet unidentified bloop recording. Shut the fuck up, Animal Planet. It's not fucking mermaids. Anyways, if humans were smart, they'd just nuke this big stupid fucker with sonar and get it over with. Get rid of all the whales too while you're at it. This creature consumes anything it comes across, including but not limited to small to large sea fauna ranging from clouds of plankton to pods of whales, ocean vessels such as boats, cruise ships, aircraft carriers, and submarines, and other ocean megafauna such as the Marianas Trench megalodon population. The tip of this creature's gaping maw is just above 32,000 feet high when it rarely breaches the surface. This trait gets even more unsettling when one realizes that airplanes fly at around 30,000 feet. One of the rare direct surface encounters with this creature was found in the black box of an airplane that was swallowed and found full of skeletons and a giant legendary undersea turd. It's thought that this creature moves by dragging itself along the seafloor with its giant uncanny valley arms. While this behemoth seems like it would be slow if it was dragging its belly across the floor like a morbidly obese slug, it can actually reach speeds of up to 575 miles per hour. The probably 10-year-old on the fandom writes that it's faster, but how am I supposed to make this that stupidly overpowered when the document reads, Sea Eater once fought Slithering Doom and Sea Eater won. It eats anything even large size, which helps it to catch flying creatures like manta and flying vehicles. Undersea, it eats creatures plankton and even feed on vertebrates and invertebrates. He can eat every ocean ever.
You dare question my flawlessly written lore? I am the Sea Eater, consumer of the deep.
Nice to meet you, C-Cup. I'm Azfk, consumer of Red Bull vodkas.
Why aren't you freaking out?
Sea Eater, if you saw my search history and learned what I got off to, you'd have nightmares for weeks. Amazon makes it like way too easy to buy like a literal machete as a child, and I know because I did it. If you thought the Sea Eater was powerful, the World Eater is so powerful that by comparison, it makes the Sea Eater look like that daddy long legs that I pulled all the legs off as a kid and then cried when I realized what I had done to that poor vibrating gray ball. The World Eater is a gargantuan mass consisting of a main body and face, and an uncountable amount of tendrils and insectoid limbs stemming from it. At the front of this body, there is a human-like mouth with insect-like mandibles stemming from each side. Look at this big smile. Such a happy guy when it's his snack time. Just above this gaping maw, the surface of the face is dotted with dozens of milky white eyes of various sizes. The body segment also extends backwards into a tail-like structure for what looks to be eternity, but is likely just a few thousand miles. The World World Eater, as its name suggests, eats worlds, idiot. This creature will feast on an entire planet, leaving nothing behind, and then it will simply move on to the next. Its endless appetite has consumed many solar systems, and will consume many more as it drifts throughout the cosmic void searching for its next meal. It's likely that the World Eater will eventually encounter and devour the Sea Eater.
What is this? A crossover episode?
And also you and everyone you know. This one kind of reminds me of the Junji Ito manga. What's it called? Hellstar Ramina. Yeah, this whole creature gives me a lot of Lovecraft vibes too. You know what's weird? A lot of people think that Lovecraft was squeamish towards sex, and you can see this in his work. Like how he made a fertility god, the equivalent to a horrific sentient fleshy termite egg sac hive full of gods. If you're a true literary scholar, you can look past this and realize that H.P. Lovecraft definitely had a fetish for sticking his penis into random insect hives and getting it all bit up and shit. What the hell is it talking about again? This is the cum eater. It eats cum, the end. Cartoon Cat is a tall, slender, anthropomorphic black cat-like creature with cartoonish proportions and features. It has white, soulless eyes with black pupils and white gloves similar to that of Control the Entire World Mouse. Like fans of FNAF, furries that want to fuck slashers are the most common victims of Cartoon Cat. Some believe that Cartoon Cat was sent as punishment for humanity's anthropomorphic sexualized cartoon representations of animals. Oh yeah, and his teeth are consistently stained with blood. When pressed as to why, he said don't worry about it. So I'm not gonna worry about it. The creature does not usually display typical feet, instead having sharp points at the ends of their legs. Finally, a solution for those who have both feet and knife fetishes. Cartoon Cat can change his form, size, and body at will. Its arms and legs can extend almost indefinitely, allowing it to reach high windows where you sleep with ease. The creature's limbs can squash and stretch like that of a typical 1930s rubber hose era cartoon, except without all the racist parts that make everybody uncomfortable. His entire body seems to be malleable, as if it were made of some sort of solidified goo. The creature seems to be emulating Felix the Cat, a cartoon that ended around the 1930s. In the Felix the Cat Wikipedia article, it details the struggles and decline of the show's creator, which is incredibly sad, right? At the time of Googling Felix the Cat, I had not read this article, and I scrolled down to why did Felix the Cat end, and it said, he slumped into an alcoholic depression, his health rapidly declined, and his memory began to fade. He could not even cash checks to Mesmer because his signature was reduced to a mere scribble. He died in 1933. But my dumbass thought it was referring to Felix the Cat, and I was like, they wrote that in the show? On a drunk AMA Trevor did on his Twitter, he revealed that Cartoon Cat loves to commit violent atrocities. Oh, to be drunk on an AMA. Trevor's doing it right. He has not revealed much about Cartoon Cat, likely because he knows the truest fear is fear of the unknown. Cartoon Cat is considered to be so dangerous that other monsters avoid areas that he tends to frequent. Not me though, this cat is just a big pussy just like every other. It's theorized that Cartoon Cat has unknown metaphysical abilities that allow him such power. Cartoon Cat, and any other cartoon monster for that matter, can take the distorted form of almost any animal. But since dogs, mice, and cats are the animals that usually come to mind when cartoons are mentioned, these are the forms that are most often used. Cartoon Cat used to take the form of Cartoon Mouse, before the only entity more powerful than itself threatened litigation. This brings us to the entity of Cartoon Dog. While some believe that Cartoon Dog is a separate entity completely different from Cartoon Cat, others are convinced that they are the same creature, and that it just changes forms very often. Since their traits are all basically the same as far as I see it, the answer is very obviously that it doesn't fucking matter. If the majority of the population focuses on a new cartoon character, Cartoon Cat may take their form. And if it makes Cartoon AZFK, I'll see it the fucking court. Based on this info, it's likely that Cartoon Cat took its form around the 30s, and looked quite different before the advent and popularization of animation. Trevor has gone so far as to say that these creatures understand morality and quite enjoy doing the most horrific of things they possibly can. So basically, it's like that kid that's edgy for edginess sake. Oh, you don't like that?
I am the aberration, the absence of all light, the warping and bending of your reality to make you question everything you ever thought was real.
You wanna go, Bendy the Ink Machine's house cat? I'll have you fucking neutered. Oh wait, I don't even have to, because the quote-unquote family-friendly channels have already done that for me.
Okay, ouch man, That one actually cut too deep. I did unsavory things just to survive. I'm done participating in your terrible video.
Big Charlie. It's so tender that pieces of it literally fall off and become other creatures. Do you know how soft the inside of this creature probably is? Smash. I wonder if I gotta pay its pimp big meat processing.
If it don't fall off the bone, it's free.
You know, if you told me that my job would be, writing videos about fucking monsters 2 years ago, yeah, I would have said you were on the money. Siren Head. This thing looks like a literal corpse with a bullhorn taped to its headless neck, but besides that, there really isn't anything to grab onto. Although, with the amount of clout this thing has attained, it's kinda like a famous person. Even if they're not attractive, huge flex. Smash. Bridgeworm. Alright, real talk though. What do you think this false face could be used for? I'm not sure either, but god damn it, I'm sure it's something. Smash. Feated King. The difference between a skeleton of something and the actual thing that it's from is that the thing usually only has like 2 or 3 holes, and a skeleton is mostly holes. But all those holes are kind of like sharp and dry, and in this case filled with maggots, so pass. Cartoon cat / cartoon dog. Okay, so this thing can transform into literally any shape you want. Goodbye cartoon cat dog, hello cartoon Instagram model. Smash. Country road creature. Now, if this thing can also shapeshift like the theories, same rules as Cartoon Cat, smash. But I'm not really sure, because like, look at that face. So if that can't shapeshift, I can't deal with it. But if it can't, you know, we're just gonna move on. Long horse. What choice is this even giving me? Sure, I could cram my dick into its eye sockets or rub it along the top of its weird mouth, but both of those just sound awful. I tried to find a hole in the back, but this shit just keeps going and going and going and going. Ass. Lil Nugget. Now, I know this thing is basically a fleshlight as a creature. I mean, it's small and made out of flesh, come on. However, there is one aspect you may not be thinking of. Look, all I'm saying is, I know what happened the last time I fucked a large pile of raw hamburger meat, and I really don't want it to ever happen again. Pass. Void Nugget. Now, Trevor won't even discuss how horrifying this creature truly is. Now, for humans, the truest fear is the fear of the unknown. For me, the unknown gets me hard. Smash. Lamb. Alright, so you know how this thing can use its psychic abilities to f with people's brains and manipulate their circulatory system so blood oozes out of their eyes and skin? Well, if it was your boo, it could probably just psychically put you in the most turned on state you've ever been in while it floods almost all of your blood into your genitals. Could you imagine what psychic coming feels like? Smash. Behemoth. This is another one of those times where it doesn't even seem like it would work logistically. Let's say I do get to the hole of this 1,000-meter tall lizard. What the fuck then? But half amoeba and half behemoth offspring. Artificial and smashination. Forgotten baby. I do not want this thing crawling up inside of my ass. Although, it doesn't have teeth. Pass. Milk walker abomination. I don't want to put any part of my body near a rancid milk carton with some rando's blood in it. Much less my cock. Pass. Basement thing. No, I'm not gonna say I've never fucked a being that's incredibly pale from never seeing the sun, flabby but skinny fat with long gangly arms, and has seemingly evil intentions, but I am gonna say that it will be the last. Pass. Bonesworth. See how there's like a skull inside of a skull for its face? Well, I'm about to crack the outer layer right the fuck off with my pelvic bone. Smash. Angel. So you know how in nature, a cactus develops spikes? It's basically saying, don't eat me. The angel has also developed spikes around its entire body. I think it's trying to say, don't fuck me. Pass. Sea eater. Is this thing gonna try and eat my sea? I don't even know what that means. Unless it's like the letter C, and then does it mean cock? Also, there's the one detail where this thing's picture is blurrier than the genitalia in some of those Japanese porn videos. Why do they do that, by the way? It's not like people who are looking for it don't know what's happening. Pass. Picking a different video. World eater.
I will eat your world.
Honey, my dad can hear you.
Seeing as though this one would destroy every planet it comes across, you know when someone is just like way more work than it's worth it? That's what the world eater is. It doesn't matter how hot she is, she'll destroy everything she comes in contact with. Pass. Trevor Henderson. Pass. Not into dudes. Would you stop asking these questions? Hopefully I've satiated your strange, unholy lust at least momentarily. Now that I've held up my end of the horrific bargain, it's time for yours. So you know what I just did to these monsters over there? They're all metaphysical abominations capable of easily ripping human beings apart. Some at the subatomic level. Can you imagine what I'm capable of and willing to do to a human that didn't like, comment, and subscribe with all notifications enabled? I wouldn't want to find out. Or am I?